Hi, I'm Shan, and this is Life with Shan. Happy Valentine's Day! I'm currently filming this at 10:30 p.m. the night before Valentine's Day, so it's almost Valentine's Day for me, but I'm so excited. Oh, and I got you something. Here are some flowers in case you didn't get any this Valentine's Day. Consider these yours. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let's see what romance reads I have for you guys today. Alright, so I pulled a ton of romance reads that I loved, adored, enjoyed from my bookcases, as well as a few TBR ones that I'm hoping to read soon. First up, I have Get a Life Chloe Brown, which is on my TBR. This is a book club book for the Bookish Book Club, which is one of the book clubs I own. It is a virtual book club. Everyone's invited. We meet twice a month on Zoom. You come whenever you can based on whether or not you want to read the book and your schedule. So you want to read Get a Life Chloe Brown and you want to discuss it with me, hop on. I'll tag the Bookish Book Club in the description below. Get a Life Chloe Brown is very popular. I have not read it yet. Book club is next month, but it says Chloe Brown is a chronically ill computer geek with a goal, a plan, and a list. After almost, but not quite dying, she's come up with 7 directives to help her get a life, and she's already completed the first, finally moving out of her glamorous family's mansion. The next items: enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorcycle, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, and do something bad. But it's not easy being bad, even when you're written step-by-step guidelines on how to do it correctly. What Chloe needs is a teacher, and she knows just the man for the job. I think that's enough of a description, and it's a romance, so hopefully it's good. I think there are 3 books in this series. They're all sister books is what I call them, but I think they're companion books where it follows minor characters from like Get a Life Chloe Brown, and then that minor character has their own story or book. I'm excited to read Get a Life Chloe Brown with the Bookish Book Club. It's supposed to be a great romance from what I've heard. It sounds steamy, so if you like steam, this one's for you. This one, The No-Show by Beth O'Leary, I just finished earlier this week and I really enjoyed it and was pleasantly surprised. I would like Beth O'Leary's other books, Flatshare, The No-Show. I think her books are cute. They're English, so that's fun. I love like the British English version of books and the settings and the way they talk. I like to see that aspect of things too. The No-Show is one guy, 3 women. You follow the 3 women's multiple point of views throughout the story, and all of these women are dating the same guy. So you start kind of annoyed, at least I was annoyed and frustrated, and I couldn't keep the characters apart. I was annoyed that this guy was using all of them in a way. However, there's a huge plot twist. It's a pink cover, come on, it's cute cover. You gotta trust Beth O'Leary's writing, and honestly, this is one of my current favorites of the year. I will probably be re-listening to this later on in the year. I did physically read and audiobook this one together. I highly recommend Beth O'Leary if you just love cute little reads with a kind of a deeper meaning in the romance aspect. You cannot go wrong with Heartstopper. These are graphic novels. They're adorable, LGBTQ. Here's some of the visuals. I do know that the European versions have different color drawings, but I love these drawings, especially this is the US version, so I appreciate these. There's a show. I can't hold all of them, and there's a 5th book coming out later this year, but they're so cute. I binge read these so quickly, and I highly recommend all of them. You can get them at your library if you don't want to spend money on graphic novels. I will be rereading these probably annually because they were so cute and just they're comfort reads. I definitely recommend Heartstopper, especially when you need a palate cleanser or you have a lot going on in life and you just need something different. If you want something a little spicier, a little longer, and you love the grumpy nice trope where the guy's grumpy or one of the characters is grumpy and the other one's really sweet and nice, I highly recommend Things We Never Got Over. I have reviewed this one earlier. I think I read it in November, but I really enjoyed this one. I binge read it. It was so fun. Guy is Knox Morgan, and he is a grumpy and the small town guy, and then Naomi Witt shows up in the town and she's a runaway bride. She has baggage with her from being a runaway bride and family baggage. She's trying to meet up with her sister, and then things kind of get all lopsided. is not just a romance, but there's family drama, there's mystery. I'm not a huge romance fan, but I really enjoyed this one because of that mystery and family drama in it. There's a few plot twists, and there is a sequel or a companion book coming out later this month that I've already pre-ordered and I'm very excited about. And Lucy Score also announced today, or today being Monday, February 13th, that there's going to be a third book coming out this fall, and she's going to be doing a cover reveal soon. And I just love these covers, the light blue, the florals, very me. I like it. Next is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. If you liked Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, I highly recommend Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This book I audioed years ago, and this is when I was getting into adult reading for the first time, and I adored this book. Just the characters, their personalities, they were finding themselves, their love for reading. I'll read you a little bit of the synopsis in case you're not already persuaded by me telling you this is a favorite of mine. Macy Sorensen is settling into an ambitious, if emotionally tepid routine. Work hard as a new pediatrics resident, plan her wedding to an older, financially secure man, keep her head down and heart tucked away. But when she runs into Ellie Metropolis, the first and only love of her life, the careful bubble she's constructed begins to dissolve. And then you kind of go back and forth between these two bookish friends and timelines of like when they were friends and what happened between them and where they are at in life now. I really like that multiple timeline aspect of relationships. Definitely a second chance. Very cute bookish couple. Now, beach read. All-time favorite of mine. Emily Henry can do no wrong. However, this is my favorite by her. Read writing enemies almost. They had creative writing together, and then they end up being in the same small town writing for the summer. I really don't want to ruin it if you haven't heard too much about Beach Read yet, but I'll give you a little bit. August Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens A Happily Ever After, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. And one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult. Obviously. No one will finish a book and no one will fall in love. Really. It's cute. I'm a sucker for books that take place in summer, lake, beach vibes, and I'm also a sucker for a duo that's writing because that's something I want to be able to do, so I like to see that perspective of things. Emily Henry does a very good job at writing characters who are also writers. I highly recommend Beach Read if you haven't read it yet. Next up is a book that not everyone loves, but I did. The Love Hypothesis. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I am a sucker, again, for STEM romance. She, however, did kiss him without consent, which is where this book is a little controversial, but I loved it. Not necessarily the no consent kiss, but I love the book. The third-year PhD candidate, Olive Smith, doesn't believe in lasting romantic relationships, but her best friend does. And that's what got her into this situation. Convincing On that Olive is dating and well on her way to happily ever after is always going to take more than hard, wavy Jedi mind tricks. Scientists require proof. So, like any self-respecting biologist, Olive panics and kisses the first man she sees. That man is none other than Adam Carlson, a young hotshot professor and well-known actor, which is why Olive is positively floored when Stanford's reigning lab tyrant agrees to keep her charade a secret and be her fake boyfriend. When a big science conference goes haywire, putting Olive's career on the Bunsen burner, Adam surprises her again with his unyielding support and even more unyielding six-pack abs. Suddenly, their little experiment feels dangerously close to combustion, and Olive discovers that the only thing more complicated than the hypothesis on love is putting her own heart under the microscope. I do have the next book, or the companion book, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's called Love Theoretically. Love Hypothesis is one of our February book club picks, so if you are reading this month, please join us at the Bookish Book Club to discuss. STEM, if you like drama, romance, I highly recommend this one. I know that there are some controversial points. Not everyone loves Allie Hazelwood, but I did really enjoy her writing in this. I'm not the most well-rounded romance reader, so I'm not going to be as critical as other reviewers. If you read a lot of romance, I can definitely see where this isn't for you, but as someone who just kind of dips her toes into romance, this one was good enough for me. Now for Love and Other Disasters, which is also a book of the month. I adored this book. It is very fluid in how it's written. They are both on a baking show. They work together, they're competitors. There's that whole behind the scenes of reality TV while building a relationship and family drama. Dahlia Woodson's culinary dreams are coming true. Sure, her marriage ended in a hideous explosion of misery and she's quit her job for the gamble of a lifetime. She's finally a contestant on the cooking show Chef's Special. Now, all Dahlia has to do is not fall on her face more than once, make the best food of her life, and try not to get distracted by her hot, incredibly dishy competition. London Parker is fighting for more than just a cooking title. Not only did they just come out as non-binary on national television, but this is an opportunity for London to raise some support and a ton of cash for the queer community. No pressure. Getting distracted by a tiny and adorable tornado like Dahlia could be disastrous. Still, somewhere among the flying fish tacos, rampant egos, and culinary chaos is something that looks a lot like deliciously spicy chemistry. But can London and Dahlia's growing relationship take the heat, or are they going to get burned? That's all you really needed to know. This was a great book. We read it for the Bookish Book Club last spring, I think January or February, and almost all of us, if I remember correctly, loved it. Great read. I think it's underhyped, honestly. You don't hear about it too much. I think it might have been an add-on book of the month at the time, but I really liked this. A lot of people in the book club really liked it, and I highly recommend. A few more books that are on my TBR for romances. I have Rebecca Serle's When You Were Mine. I know not everyone loves her books, but I loved One Italian Summer and In 5 Years, and I'm excited to pick this one. Here is the synopsis. What's in a name, Shakespeare? I'll tell you everything. Rosaline knows that she and Rob are destined to be together. Rose has been waiting for years for Rob to kiss her, and when he finally does, then Juliet moves back to town. Juliet, who used to be Rose's best friend, who now inexplicably hates her. Juliet, who is gorgeous, vindictive, and unpredictable, and who has set her sights on Rob. He doesn't stand a chance. Rose is devastated over losing Rob to Juliet, and when rumors start swirling about Juliet's instability, her neediness, and her growing problems, Rose starts to fear not only for Rob's heart, but also for his life, because Shakespeare may have gotten the story wrong, but we all still know how it ends. For Juliet, there is Rosaline, and she has a story to tell. It sounds very intriguing. I love the covers of her books, just how they're designed and how simple, elegant they also are. I do know that there's a show on Hulu, I believe, that is kind of loosely based on You Were Mine, so that's exciting as well. I'm excited to read this. From my friend Booking It with Maria 94 is It Started With a Dog by Julia London. This is so cute, just the cover. I love anything with dogs. Unfortunately, my dog is asleep because it's way past her bedtime. But yeah, this kind of looks like my dog Callie, who you guys sometimes see. Well, here's what It Started With a Dog is all about. All Harper Thompson wants for Christmas is the huge promotion she's worked so hard for, which she should get as long as her launch of a hip new coffee house, Deja Brew, goes according to plan. Jonah Rogers is trying to save his family's coffee shop, the Lucky Star, from going out of business. It'll be tough with the brand new Deja Brew opening across the street. It does sound like enemies to lovers so far. When Jonah and Harper meet for the first time after accidentally swapping phones, their chemistry is as electric as a strand of Christmas lights. He's a tall, handsome, compassionate hunk of engineer, and she's an entrepreneur whose zest for life is very sexy. They love all the same things, like scary movies, greasy food, and most of all, dogs. It's a match made in heaven until Jonah finds out that Harper's the one about to put him out of business. This is a little bit more of a holiday read, but I'm still gonna read it this spring. It's a pink cover. It screams Valentine's Day to me. They love dogs. She's holding a book in her hand. The illustrator of this cover really sold me on it, and I'm so glad my friend Maria got this for me for Valentine's Day. And last but not least, one of our own bookstagrammers, A Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I got this one in August when I went to the bookstore Books and Books in Key West, which is actually owned by Judy Blume, and I picked this book. And this one, which is also a STEM romance, is about PhD candidate Phoebe Walsh has always been obsessed with true crime. She's even analyzing the genre in her dissertation. She can manage to finish writing it. It's hard to find the time while she spends the summer in Florida cleaning out her childhood home, dealing with her obnoxiously good-natured younger brother, and grappling with the complicated feelings of mourning a father she hadn't had a relationship with for years. It doesn't help that she's low-key convinced that her new neighbor, Sam Dennings, is a serial. He may dress business casual by day, but at night he's clearly up to something. Not long before, Phoebe realizes that Sam might be something much scarier. A genuinely nice guy who can pierce her armor to reach her vulnerable heart. That is the synopsis for Love in the Time of Serial Killers. She also just announced the other day that she will be releasing her second book. I'm really excited for her and for both of them. I believe she lives in Florida near me. I know that when she debuted this book, she had a huge party at a local bookstore that I couldn't go to because unfortunately I was out of town, but I do look forward to hopefully meeting her at one of our local events. Those are all some of my top romance books. One thing that I forgot to bring downstairs is One Day. I've seen the movie so many times with Anne Hathaway, and I love the movie, and I've had the book for a few years and I've been meaning to read it. I think this is the year I read it. I'm gonna read that this month. I want to read it. Hopefully I'm manifesting it by sharing this with you. And those are some of my favorite romance reads. Seriously, if you read any romance, it should be Heartstopper. Thank you for watching, and if you have made it this far, I have a little surprise. I'm going to be giving away one Valentine's Day themed book sleeve to the last person to comment today, February 14th, Happy Valentine's Day, or a heart or anything Valentine's Day related. So the last person to comment before midnight Eastern time on February 14th, Valentine's Day, anything Valentine's Day related, what you're doing for Valentine's Day, what you're reading, what you got besides the flowers from me, anything about Valentine's Day related, the last person to comment today at midnight, February 14th, will send you a free Grace by Shan Valentine's Day book sleeve. For watching, like, comment, subscribe, and happy Valentine's Day.